Welcome, warrior. Welcome back to the story of my samurai and the way of the warrior. Are you ready? Let's continue. Staring past the tree to the street below, a strange shape grabbed Eddie's attention. Scrubbing at the fog pane, he blinked and rubbed his eyes. The shape revealed itself. Something was standing on the sidewalk looking up at him. Something big. Eddie felt the voice before he heard it. Rise up! It seemed to be all around him, inside his head and outside the apartment. It felt close enough to touch, yet he knew it had no form. Like the dryness of a west wind, it was something to feel, not touch. He knew he couldn't escape it, but he could ignore it, and he decided to. He had something more important to pay attention to right now. Whatever or whoever it was down there wore a long metallic coat that reflected the lights from the hovering street lamps. He carried two swords. One was long and curved, the other shorter and straighter. Covering the man's head was a wide-brimmed helmet that cast a shadow over his face. He turned his head slowly and looked up at the window. Eddie's eyes widened. It was him, the warrior from his dreams. No way! Was he still dreaming? The warrior turned again and faced the street. He stood like a statue, one hand wrapped around the handle of his long sword. A probing light interrupted Eddie's cascading thoughts and announced the arrival of a slow-moving vehicle further along the street. Stretching to see who it was, he slid his face to the edge of the glass pane. They were moving way too slowly to be one of the gangs. Maybe it was Foro Corp. Maybe someone had reported the strange guy to the company that ran the city. Eddie hid himself from view and peered down at the unfolding spectacle. He smiled as a beam of light from the manless vehicle shot across a row of leafless bushes in front of the building. The man in armor stood silently. Eddie shook his head. Was this guy blind or just dumb? The light-armored skimmer crept along the street without pausing. Its searching beam cut through the darkness and seemed to pass through the warrior. They didn't stop. Eddie was frantic. He rushed to the second window and watched in horror as the vehicle glided past. The green glow of the interior controls faded, and he listened to the chatter of the vehicle's remote controllers until the street was silent again. Returning to the first window, Eddie peered down to where the warrior had been. It was as if he'd never been there. Slipping back into bed, he pulled the cover up and over his head and lay as still as his nervous body would let him. He felt for his wristband and adjusted the setting. A few seconds into his favorite music track, Eddie sighed and sunk deeper into his slender mattress. It was just a dream, he repeated to himself over and over. Forget it. Join us again for episode 4. Coming soon.